What is up? What is up, DTube Hexicans? So today I want to talk a little bit about Hex, and I want to. This is a video basically that is inspired by a video I did a couple of years ago, talking a little bit about Steam, and I want to do an updated video here, but about Hex. So Hex has basically given me hope for humanity again, mainly because, well, it's kind of interesting if we dive deeper into it. So, when I came into this space, usually a pretty nice experience in the beginnings. Maybe I was a bit naive about crypto, I probably was. But gradually, I sort of felt that other people were kind of less invested in the project and the ecosystem, and they didn't care as much as me. I care a lot about Steam, and you can look at that of my track record of being a vlogger, a video vlogger, and I've been doing 1,000 vlogs since early 2018, posting them on Steam blockchain and so on. And I kind of realized eventually that, well, people over there don't really care that much, or they care less. So let's fast forward a little bit to Hex. Hex has basically given me hope for humanity again, because I had a couple of years where I was considering, looking at a lot of stuff in the world and so on, and everything looked pretty lame. The communities were so lame, and it didn't fit into my vision about what I wanted to do. And I want to do a lot of cool things in the world, but you kind of needed the funds, right? So early 2018 with the pause, tried to get the funds over there, but too corrupt. Okay, too corrupt. Now with Hex, it kind of has given me hope for humanity again, because I can see the duality coming in here. It sort of seems like duality where it seems to be a pretty big balancer to Federal Reserve and just in general the global like money printing. That okay, the banks, they have their own money printing systems, and I can't save money in a bank and get interest. But now we kind of have this duality thing going with Hex, where wait a sec, we can also now print money. Yes, we can actually print money with smart contracts. And this, as I talked about in the past, this was the most interesting thing when I came into Steam early 2018. I thought that the biggest magic that people didn't talk about was this paradigm shift of money printing, that we can actually print our own money now with computer code. Because I didn't even consider that kind of thing 2017 and earlier. But when I got that experience with DPoS, with Steam, I was that was the most fascinating thing, because it is. And the reason why I jumped into Steam or DPoS and like crypto full time, that was because I saw that, well, this is kind of like an emerging paradigm shift. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of moving more into that right now, especially with Hex, where now we have made it a step further, where we used to have the best game theory that the human mind has been able to figure out. And we use printing to people that believe more. Like people that believe more in Hex, they get more Hex shares and Hex tokens. It seems to be the best ideal game theory, because people then that believe super much in it, they are gonna be super long term, and they're gonna stay a very, very long time. And it seems to be working pretty great. And and yeah, it's kind of giving me hope, because it looks, as I said, I mean, it looks like some duality thing. It looks like a very, very interesting balancer. Hex has really made this year, 2020, extremely interesting, because, well, a lot of people has had maybe another experience of 2020. Me personally, as a Hexican, it has been so interesting, because you see people talking about all these topics, and they're talking about all these problems and so on. And we Hexicans kind of know that, well, a lot of it comes down to money, right? And where money flows, and that we just need amazing game theory, which we have with the HEX smart contract. No expectations, no promises, locked code, can go to zero. Decentralized exchange. A lot of the stuff that people are talking about and that they kind of feel hopeless about, it's mainly because they kind of see, or they don't have a cool, they usually are not aware that a lot of it has to do with money. And if you can have amazing game theory for humans, which we can do with these smart contracts now, and if you can make humans be a little bit sharper in the way they're looking at the worlds, where a lot of the stuff people are discovering about the world, most of the times, if you dig a little bit deeper, if you want to go to the root, usually comes down to money or something about money. And in my experience, is like, I mean, a lot of people know about it. If you have fiat money, if you just want to get a little bit interest per year, they made it super complex. Like they made it like complex, like basic things that should be easy. Like you should be able to earn interest in a bank account, like maybe, yeah, at least a couple of percent. But now I don't, barely you can even do that, and that's kind of wrong, right? That is, they don't, like, the banks are not having any accountability. You should be able to, it shouldn't be complex to save. It shouldn't be complex to earn interest. And now it's kind of interesting, right? Because the more capability we get with technology, if we have like a human genius, a math genius, and they figure out, wait a sec, we can kind of make our own interest now, and we can just make our own game theory now, then people can innovate and do stuff, and stuff that we can do with code, we should probably do it with code, and then we don't have to earn zero interest basically. So yeah, now it's pretty interesting because now we're almost up to 33% API in HEX for the 10-year staker guys, and I mean that is extremely high, and it's kind of cool then, because people have like this massive incentive to kind of hang around and to make the brand stronger, to consider. So HEX is a brand, and this new ticker symbol, by the way, hex.com, and that that Hex now has hex.com. That's just amazing. These small little things that just like keeps on improving in the Hex community is just amazing. Like, this is more fun. Like, we can, it's never that we, like with fiat money, we don't consider like stuff, like we don't have an incentive to like talk good about the euro or the USD or the British pound or anything like that, because we're not getting anything more from that. But when you have like a decentralized currency, so HEX is an ERC20 token smart contract on Ethereum, you have incentive to strengthening that brand and to educate other people, so they may check it out themselves, and that they get a lot of value from that, because they're probably going to get more value from it than what they currently are getting, because a lot of people are, what I like about HEX, and why I think, and why kind of gives me hope about humanity again, is like, I mean, it is a very extremely nice balancer to a lot of nonsense that you can print without the nonsense. That's pretty awesome. So, so if you look at Depop, for example, Steam, Hive, EOS, and all this, it's just like slow money printing when you can just do it automatic with amazing game theory. It's just better. Because it's like the money is really what people want, right? That is the thing that they're most excited about. And yeah, I mean, following Hex, and it's been very interesting, because never before in crypto have I seen so engaged people. I mean, they're super engaged. if I look at watch time on my videos, it can be up to 12 minutes average watch time. That is crazy. That is some of these things that makes you kind of question reality a lot. Yeah, because it's like, so life is a possibility. Um and it all depends on what kind of actions people are doing on a daily basis, right? So if you see that people are like super engaged and super passionate about a brand, and you see that it also helps other people, it's this very interesting fun thing that actually makes it so you are more of a productive human and you're less in this helpless mode. So a lot of stuff that people are doing on a daily basis is pretty much nonsense. I'm watching sometimes these coin telegraph videos where you have these people that are looking at charts 12 hours a day and just looking at numbers go up and down and trying to steal someone else's money. That's not that sounds pretty that's a pretty it doesn't seem like a smart way to kind of spend your time. It seems like it's smarter to just develop the best game theory, and then everyone gets in on that game theory and gets educated about that game theory, uh, and uh, and then instead of looking at charts for 12 hours a day, they can instead look at what is a cool brand. How do you make a personal brand? What makes other brands cool? Like what makes the Hex brand cool? How can you make a better brand? How can you connect with other brands? What is a personal brand, and like how can you use the best medium to do something productive in life? Like, yeah, I mean, looking at charts 12 hours a day, not only is it like emotional toil or an emotional toll on people, it's not only is it draining, but it's draining for other people. Like, so you're trying to steal someone else's money on the other side of the screen, something that people talked about in the past. Yeah, it's not that smart. It's not that ethical. Uh, and and with Hex, for example, you just have a smart contract that prints the new coins. You're not trying to like take someone else what someone else has. If you're taking what someone else has, they're kind of gonna get pissed at you. Or if you get happy that day, you probably made someone else very very sad. And I think there's way more upside with like looking at the brand aspect and like, because I mean, first of all, the personal brand aspect has barely been explored. But that is like, you have this amazing possibility and potential here because people have barely explored it. Um, they barely explored it. And a big thing about the brands and what's kind of interesting now with this instant age is how it's like cool to see how you can connect with like other people's experiences. So for example, let's say you have 10 people that are working daily at improve their own brand. You get this multiplier effect. So people pinging off each other and they're learning from each other. And if everyone is like 100% all in to build up their own personal brand and then learn about other brand and see how they can connect a lot of cool things, you get this insane multiplier effect. You says the multiplier effect we get in Hex with the big payday, with how the share price works. You can look at how you can get these exponential cool effects that you couldn't get if you did something just by yourself. So a lot of the traders, they're used by themselves, and since they're not using video, they're not using vlogs, they're not getting any scale, and they don't realize that if they just build up a cool brand instead of looking at charts, it's so much more powerful and it's so much more, let's say, world changing potential, where you can actually reach every human on the planet. Like if you're using video, if you're using these amazing gadgets, these smartphones with these amazing front-facing cameras, like I'm using my dual front-facing camera, my Galaxy S10 Plus right now. Amazing quality, amazing camera, and I love it because it gives me scale. Like I can reach maximum amount of people, and it's just sad when people when people don't take advantage of this to instead of looking at charts for 12 hours a day, now with the Hex smart contract, you can go to hex.com, learn more about Hex. This is not financial advice or anything like that. Can go to zero. It's a complete project without any expectations. But man, look at the past data in this launch phase. It is amazing. But yeah, I mean, now we have a very cool smart contract like locked code that just keeps on running, and you can focus on the bigger things that kind of scales. Now, is it good if every human gets into trading, for example? It's not good, like, because it makes people more lazy, and it makes people, yeah, they're more into this mode of like scarcity and trying to steal someone else's money. While Hex is more, okay, we're just printing new coins here to intelligent people that realize how the game theory is and that has more long-term outlook. And what Hexagons are more trying to do is like they're trying to see how they can add more value to the project by producing something. Maybe they're producing a video, maybe they are spreading awareness and like connecting various brands or various cool people and connecting them all together. They're in this mode more of how can they bring more value to something instead of like looking at, well, it's just more it seems when I'm looking at it, people are they're doing the chart thing, like looking at these numbers ups and downs. It looks like they are in way more scarcity mode, and that's, I would say, kind of concerning, and it's kind of sad. Same as I've been talking a little bit a couple of years ago, I think it's sad that people just playing video games when life is a more interesting video game. It is something that other people talked about. Also, that like life is like the best video game, and it's like, I don't know, playing GTA 5 or something like that instead of like playing life. It seems, I don't know, to me, if an adult is doing that, seems pretty lame. They're yeah, they're wasting time instead when they can like instead like trying to develop their personality and trying to become a better human being. And I know they're saying in like articles like, yeah, you're becoming a better human being if you're playing video games because you're getting sharper or something like that. But most of the times, like, I mean, that's pretty bullshit in many ways. I mean, maybe you're getting better in the game, but in like real life skills, you're probably not learning that much. And it's just fun, more fun with like building up a personal brand or like learning, being a blogger, learning how you can talk and learning how you can talk in better ways and learning how you can communicate in better ways that is way more efficient and effective, and you can like see progress you're doing. Yeah, it's cool. Like if you're doing something a lot, you're eventually gonna get better at it, you know. So yeah, it's one thing you kind of realize about Hex is like you realize that most people in life, they're doing most of the things kind of right, but they're usually associated with a bad brand. Hex is an amazing brand, and mainly because there is a lot of, I mean, it's just an awesome brand and it's an awesome product, and that was a challenge for me before Hex to like. So I was doing vlogs and stuff like that, but I wasn't associated with a cool brand, and then your impact is like reduced, like it's so much more reduced. But yeah, because it's like yeah, the branding thing, like what is a cool brand, what is a brand, what can be a brand, that is something that takes many years to kind of learn more about, and it's very exciting. So Hex has basically, yeah, it's giving me, yeah, it's like it's nice to see when people are doing amazing stuff like that Hex.live website, for example. Amazing work. It's like I didn't know you can do like that amazing kind of service with that amazing graphics and get it up that fast with that kind of fast API. Yeah, you keep getting kind of surprised in humans kind of surprise me when they're doing amazing stuff. it's fun, and it's also fun how a lot of people can kind of unite again in Hex, because everyone is like interested in money, right? Everyone want to do more money. Everyone wants to have more money, and and most of the times humans didn't have the potential to print their own money, especially not in like a decentralized way. And now we kind of have that with Hex, and it's very interesting, as I talked a little bit about in the past, to see also how the rest of the community in the crypto, how they are not even responding to kind of Hex, even though they don't even realize it themselves that Hex is an amazing brand, Hex is an amazing product that should be respected, but they don't even realize that that brand, the Hex brand, would actually be better for them, because most of the times it's so much better than all of the other things they're talking about, because all the other things they're talking about is like worse brands or worse products, and those things that they're talking about, it makes them look worse. It doesn't like improve. So if you're doing vlogs and you're talking about like worse brands than Hex, that doesn't improve your vlog career. It actually makes you look low status. It looks like you have no clue what goes on. You don't know what's cool. You don't know what people need. It's um, it's pretty lame, to be honest. And and they could actually, like most YouTube crypto YouTubers, if they talked about Hex, they would look both more high status, and they would actually show to the world that they actually care about people owning their own keys in crypto, holding their own keys, and that more people learn to print their own coins instead of waiting like a leech for someone else to pump their bag. So at the moment, a lot of people are waiting now for Tether or Bitfinex or BitMEX to pump their Bitcoin bag, but they're doing it. But it's like, yeah, they are like a slave to BitMEX or Bitfinex or Tether to kind of pump their bag in most of the time probably pretty shady ways. Like if you look at the history of Bitfinex and all the nonsense with BitMEX and how they're making money and how it's kind of shady, it's probably not that good money you're getting. Like you can really argue if it's really that honest, and if you really deserve it, if you didn't even do anything to improve the brand or improve the image or like educate people, is one of these very interesting topics. Yeah, I mean that is, I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit about it today. I mean, why can I, yeah, Hex kind of gave me hope for humanity again, to see, it's so cool to see people coming together and like being really passionate about something real, because we that came into crypto 2018 and have seen 2018, 2019, all the nonsense, how everything else is basically nonsense. um it's nice to finally get something real, and it's also amazing to see eventually how the rest of the crypto community eventually will be confronted with that this is actually something legit, this is actually something good, this is actually something that they should respect, this is actually something they should talk about. It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of evolves over time, especially when the market cap grows bigger and bigger and bigger in Hex. I mean, at the moment, I think we're at around $1.5 billion market cap, which is pretty amazing the first year. Uh, yeah, remember that the top of Steam was like, I think 2.4 billion or 2.2 billion dollars, and people were like so excited about it then. So yeah, we're gonna kind of pass that eventually with Hex, and that's gonna be super super cool. And then we're gonna flip XRP, and it's gonna be so exciting because I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun. Because they're doing more nonsense. Yeah. Have a great day, DTube.